Hi guys, it's Ahsante, and this video is going to be the third in my series on how to get into Harvard. This is based on my experience of getting in and the experiences of those that I've talked to. And although this advice is going to be focused on Harvard, a lot of these things can be applied to applications for other universities. The way I see it, there are things you can do, things you can be, there's the application itself, and then there's my experience, which hopefully you can learn something from. This video is going to be about the all-important application. So let's get started. Let us begin. As of the day of this filming, it all starts with the Common App. It's something you can fill out once and use over and over again. The Common Application is great for applying to multiple schools, and it's pretty straightforward, so not too much advice here, but I would say to give yourself enough time to complete the Common App because it is pretty lengthy. You do need to have a lot of information, so allow yourself enough time to complete it. Recommendations. It helps to try and get a variety of people to write recommendations. The point of the application is to see you in a well-rounded manner, to understand you complexly as a full human being. Try your teachers, people who know you outside of the classroom, maybe coaches or scout leaders or employers. The more different types of perspectives, the better. That being said, be mindful of the number of recommendations that you are allowed to submit. It usually doesn't hurt to send one more recommendation than they ask for, but after that it gets to be kind of a lot because they only have a certain amount of time they can spend looking at each application, and the more letters you have, the less time they can spend per letter. And of course, don't get your mother to write your recommendation. Don't ask your sister or your grandma. I'm sure they have lovely things to say about you, but you really want these recommendations to be from positions of authority and to be a bit more objective. SAT scores. There's something to be aware of, but they're not the entire package. And I'll tell you a little secret. Come on, closer. Closer. They don't only accept 2400s. I made another video about the importance of SAT scores, so you can go check that out here. But the bottom line is to look online and judge your scores against those. Another part of the SAT that does not get talked about as much are these subject tests. My biggest piece of advice here would just be to not forget about these. Make sure to double check what kind of subject tests are expected, how many subject tests are expected. Subject tests are things that you don't have to take at the last minute. When you finish your U.S. history class, take the U.S. history SAT subject test. A good strategy would be, as you take the classes in high school, just take the subject test to get it out of the way. That way the subject is fresh in your mind, and once you get to senior year, you don't still have pesky SAT subject tests to worry about. The student essay. The student essay that you submit with your Common App is probably one of the most important parts of the application. The essay is your chance to shine, your chance to put forth an image of yourself in your own words, in your own voice, and really let the selection committee know who you are as a person. Don't be plain or bland. I'm this and that, and I've done this thing, and I'm interested in blah 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 blah. Shh. Tell your experience like you're telling a story. You want your essay to be engaging and interesting and unique. The supplement. These are just essays or questions that you have to respond to outside of the Common App. This is the kicker. If you're applying to multiple institutions, this is going to be different from college to college. It might be different from year to year within the same college. Your supplement is another time for your personality to shine through, your originality, your unique perspective to shine through, so really take advantage of those questions. The next step in the college application process, particularly for Harvard, is the interview. Be prepared to talk about yourself. What are your interests? Why do you want to go to Harvard? What do you think you're going to study there? And be ready to ask questions. Questions about the institution and questions about your interviewer, because a lot of the times the interviewer will have a connection to Harvard in some way. Maybe they'll be doing research there. They'll probably know a few professors. They might even be into your field of study. So it's a great time to ask questions, learn more about the institution, and learn more about the kind of people who go there. And as you're applying to Harvard, you also want to apply to other colleges. As much as some people really want to go to Harvard and are very focused on that one school, I encourage you to apply to many different universities. Look at your other options, look at other Ivy Leagues and modern Ivy Leagues like Stanford and MIT. Different Ivies have different strengths and are looking for slightly different things in their applicants. So just because you get into one doesn't mean you couldn't get into another. If you don't get into Harvard, maybe you can go to Brown. Whoa, was that shade? What? No. No shade. Really? Because that sounded a little brownist. Brownist? I'm not brownist. One of my best friends goes to Brown. No, but really, I don't have anything against Brown. At least it's not Yale. Anyways, college rivalries aside, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you'd like to hear about next. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. I'm not brownist. One of my best friends goes to Brown.